Okay, so what we're going to do now is we've got the planets, which are the actors, and we've got the signs, which are the costumes that they're wearing, and then they act in the arenas or the set of a particular house. Mm-hmm. So what I gave you is like a handout of some basic keywords, and it'd be nice if you find some of your own keywords or add keywords to that list. Mm-hmm. That you can use to make little sentences. So it's like we're gonna take those little dress-up dolls. You can put all kinds of different hats and shirts and pants on, mm-hmm. and move them all around with the different charts.
Okay.
So where's the sun in this chart?
Where is the sun? The sun is always, okay, let me see. I'm just gonna have to make this bigger for me. One sec, sorry.
That's okay.
I just can't see it for some reason. Try to make it bigger on my screen. Make it bigger. The sun. Is it in the 4th house?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having some visual.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So if you look at your list of planets, what's a keyword that interests you in terms of the sun? What's a key phrase on the list?
My heart's desire,
okay.
My true self,
mm-hmm.
My deeper identity, my strongest life force.
So which one do you want to pick? Because we're gonna choose the. Are we gonna choose the I don't know. Are we gonna choose the Mountie, the ballerina, the lady feeding the birds? Are we choose choose?
I want to do my heart's desire.
Yeah, I like that one. So my heart's desire, or you can say I express my heart's desire. Now go to the sign. The list of keywords for the sign and pick one of those keywords.
For Sagittarius?
Yep.
Exploring.
Okay. I express my heart's desire. Maybe you could say exploratorily, or you could say I'm exploring my heart's desire. Then we're going to go to the house and say in my, and pick one of the 4th house keywords.
My home.
So are you exploring your heart's desire in your home? Do you explore your heart's desire in your home?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the 4th house is a really very private house and a house of going kind of deeply inside ourselves.
I'm very much like,
Yeah. So do you want to play with anything else with the sun before we go to the next planet?
No, I think that's good for now. I'd like to try another one though.
Yeah, so maybe write that sentence down, because then once we go through a bunch of planets, you could read off all these sentences and see what it says about you at the end, all these different sentences.
Okay, so I have to go back and remember this now.
I explore my heart's desire in my home. Okay. Where do we find the moon?
Okay, the moon in my 4th house.
Mm-hmm. And what sign is it in?
Scorpio.
Mm-hmm. So pick one of the symbols, one of the meanings of the moon, one of the expressions of the moon.
My emotional nature.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then do I go to Scorpio?
Yeah. Yeah. Choose a costume for your emotional nature.
Oh, this is good.
Actually, one of the phrases that should be on the Scorpio list is transformatively.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to add it. But then you don't have to choose that one. I'm just.
Well, I was going to say with desire.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So my note. Mm-hmm. My emotional nature expresses with desire. And now let's pick the house.
In the 4th house. So I express my emotional nature with desire.
This is almost turning out like one of those sentences where you, whatever you say, you always add in bed.
Yeah. I feel like I have this need to say my home though, but it's not really like.
Yeah. Because
The
your
other
home.
one, like it's like your childhood and my opposite sex parent. I don't really identify
Right.
long-term career foundation.
Mm-hmm.
My long-term career foundation could be one. I just am not there yet. So
Yes. Right.
I'm definitely getting pushed in that direction, like just to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that my emotional nature is necessarily completely tied to that. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. Now, another thing about your moon is it's right at the very beginning of the 4th house. Just like when we talked about the midheaven being important, the
Mm-hmm.
very beginning of the 4th house is very important too. Even Mercury is very close to this place,
Mm-hmm.
which is really the absolute foundation of your chart, which is the core of your being. Whenever we have planets really close to this 4th house cusp, we really experience those planets as operating from and at the very core of our being. So you could say my emotional nature expresses with desire at the core of my being.
That's probably closer.
Yeah, which is your home. That's our real home anyway.
Yeah, it's just like that. It feels like just my foundation. Like I'm
Yes.
very passionate, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
figure things out, and yeah, I have a desire to do so. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
okay.
So the next planet we're looking at. So you want to put that sentence down in whatever way.
So my emotional nature, express my emotional nature with desire at my core being.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
The next one.
So the next one. Oops.
This is where it's going to be hard. So
Yeah.
that planet is not Mars because Mars looks like the one that's in the 1st house.
Yep.
What is that planet though? The planets are hard for me.
Yeah. 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 Because they don't. Well, some of them are easier to work out that what they're from their picture. You know, the visual is an easier one to recognize. The sun is easy to recognize. The moon's really easy to recognize. This one is Mercury.
Okay.
And it's like this little winged horn, little buzzing being, if you can kind of think of it that way. Might help you.
Okay. And it's in the 3rd house.
Yes. So what is one of the key words of Mercury that you want to choose?
My thoughts.
Okay. What sign is Mercury in?
The third.
No, that's the house. What sign is Mercury in?
Oh, what sign? Wait, I have to go back to see you here. What sign is it in? That is Scorpio.
Yep, that's right. So what Scorpio costume do you want to put on your thoughts?
Sorry, I'm going back between screens. I need dual screens here.
Yes.
So my thoughts. My thoughts are working beneath the surface.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Now go look at third house.
I'm gonna go down. So I'm drawn to my actions in my immediate environment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So my thoughts are working beneath the surface to study my actions in my immediate environment. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to write that one down. Now, the other thing that let me know when you're finished writing that down, actually.
My thoughts working beneath the surface to study my actions in my immediate environment. Yeah, I got it. Hopefully I can read my writing after this.
Or even to study my immediate environment is a good one too.
To study my actions in my immediate environment.
Because another thing that's interesting here is that Mercury and the moon are very close together. So this is considered a conjunction, and we haven't done aspects yet, but conjunction is one of the easiest aspects because it means two planets that are really close together and they're hanging out together.
So what is that influence? Like if they're so
it
close?
means that those two planets work together. So it means that your thoughts and your emotions work together. Yeah, it is very interesting. It's certainly a moon Mercury person is a person who likes to communicate about their emotions also.
Very much true.
I understand. I have it too. The same aspect. Yeah. So you're definitely a person in a relationship. You need to be talking about your emotions, or it's just, you'll just feel so constipated and unfulfilled.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And they say all women need that. I don't think that's true. Some women, they don't want to talk about it at all.
Yeah. I have friends that are like that. So I know it's not necessarily common.
No. And a man with a moon Mercury conjunction is going to want to talk about his emotions.
I need to find someone like that. That would be a good match.
Yes, it would actually. Yeah, so the other thing that's interesting is that whenever a planet is really right at the end of a house, houses have cusps, which means that when your Mercury is actually in two houses, because your Mercury is at 25 Scorpio and 47 means just 47/60th of a degree, almost 26 degrees. And then your fourth house cusp is 27/46. So your Mercury is 2 degrees away from your fourth house cusps. So that means its energy actually goes into the fourth. So you actually have Mercury in the third and fourth houses. And you also have both Mercury and the moon at the very, very core of your being. So it's interesting when you were talking about your moon in the fourth and the sense we made with that, you also were saying you want to figure it out. I don't know if you remember using that phrase. And that was an automatic thing that came out of your mouth because your moon and your Mercury can't be separated. You have to figure it out. So not only are you feeling things really deeply and passionately and with desire at the core of your being, you're constantly working to figure it out. That makes a good astrologer.
Oh, good, because that's what I want to. I'm constantly thinking it's a little bit tiresome.
I'm sure it is. Yes. Because another thing is that when the ascendant is as important a part of us as the sun sign. So your ascendant being Virgo, everybody's ruling planet is actually the planet that rules the ascendant. So when you read this, the sun sign astrology stuff, the conventional coffee book table astrology, it says you're a Sagittarius and your ruling planet is Jupiter. Well, the truth is, yes, you are a Sagittarius or a Sagittarius sun sign, but your ruling planet is actually Mercury, because Mercury rules Virgo. Everybody's ruling planet is a planet that rules their rising sign or their ascendant. Rising sign and ascendant is a term that means the same thing as rising sign. Your ruling planet is Mercury. So this is why you're always thinking about things too. But your ruling planet goes right in there, boom, into the third and fourth houses, sitting there with your moon, really feeling things deeply with a lot of desire, but also really looking underneath the surface and trying to figure it all out.
So why does it say Jupiter as my ascendant again?
It says Jupiter is your ruling planet because the sun sign astrology books are only talking about sun signs. The only way to tell someone's true ruling planet is to know their exact date, time, and place of birth. So it's a more complicated mathematical equation that has to be undertaken in order to find out your true ruling planet. So in order to shorthand it and popularize it, they will say that Sagittarius, your ruling planet, is Jupiter. Well, the ruling planet of your sun is Jupiter, absolutely. But your ruling planet, you, Sarah, your ruling planet is Mercury.
Okay.
So a Virgo with Sagittarius rising, their ruling planet would be Jupiter, not Mercury. And you'd probably possibly be quite attracted to each other too, because the rising sign is who we want to become, and the sun sign is who we are. And each one of you would express what the other one wants to become. So there'd be an affinity.
Are you going to, in the future, talk about, like how you determine, whether a sign's like more compatible with another? I'm sure you get lots of questions about that.
Yeah. And there is no way to tell whether a sign is more compatible with another sign. I mean, some signs do have a tendency to have an attraction or an affinity and show up together a lot.
Yeah.
There is that tendency, but it's more important to look at the aspects between individual charts. Because people, again, they want to find an easy route. Okay, I know my sun sign, and if I can find my partner's sun sign, are we or are we not compatible?
Well, that's the typical thing you find online, right?
Like, yeah, exactly. It's sort of like saying, well, depending on what continent we live on, are we or are we not compatible? Nothing else is being taken into account. Maybe not even your gender or your sexual preference, your age, not your interest, nothing. It's that disconnected. It doesn't have any real strength at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Except for, in some occasional situations, there's certain signs that have more of a tendency to get drawn to each other than others, And some of those are signs that the coffee table astrology books say aren't compatible. And yet they're really drawn together. And when they work it out, they're very compatible. So then people get all panicked. Oh my God, my partner's in an incompatible sign. It's doom. But it's not like that.
A lot of people do. Yeah.
Because the aspects between charts, and that's a mathematical situation. So we have an aspect here, and there's a mathematical situation going on between your Mercury and your moon. Mathematically speaking, they're very close together.
Right.
If there were some planets sitting right up here, they'd be directly opposite to each other. That's another aspect. That's a distinct and direct relationship. And it's the aspects between people's charts that really talk not so much about whether or not they are compatible, but they talk about the issues that come up in the relationship. And some of those things are wonderful and blissful and very attractive and feel great. And some of those are challenging. But we're just as attracted to the challenges as we are to the goodies. If we have too many goodies with somebody else's chart, it's boring. Won't be attracted to them.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, I don't know, I'm always under the belief that, when you attract, a soul-based relationship, it's all about learning. So of course, some learnings.
Totally. Yes, it's true. Yeah. So we can have a person in every single sign that we're going to have a strong affinity for. There's at least one person in every single sign out there that we will really hit it off with.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. For sure, most definitely. Yeah, so where we were playing with Mercury. So the next planet is a pretty easy planet, and then
That's an easy planet.
to recognize. Yeah, relatively easy planet to recognize, I think, because it's used a lot. It's used a lot all over the world outside of astrology. That symbol.
The one that's at 16?
The one that's at 16.
Is that what I'm looking at? One up from there?
Not seeing anything at 16.
In the third house?
Oh, in the third house.
Yeah, that one? Is that what you're
Oh,
talking
I see
about?
it here. You're talking about
Yeah.
16 minutes. Yeah, no, that's not the next planet in order. The next planet in order is Venus. So do you think you
Oh,
can?
going that way.
Yeah, we're going by the order of the planets. I'm not going to.
Oh, my goodness.
Because we're not going to go by house. Because we're starting with the planets as the actors in the chart. So we're going to go by their natural order.
Okay.
That's why we skipped this guy in the middle here between sun and moon.
I see what you're doing now. I have no idea what that planet is.
Okay.
I have to spend more time with the planets for sure.
That's fine. Well, Venus is this nice, pretty little girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's all calm and peaceful and very nice and simply dressed.
I like how you describe them because that will help me.
Yes. And there she is. It's just the circle, the cross of spirit and the circle of personality. It's interesting. She's got her spirit hidden underneath her personality. Mm-hmm. And her visual, her pretty image. So look at the Venus list and choose one of the characteristics of Venus.
Okay. My ideal self.
Okay. Now, what sign is Venus in?
Okay. Oh, wow. What sign does that look like?
The other thing is if you
I was pretty good at the signs, but I'm just thinking what that it's like.
Well, do you know what sign is right after Sagittarius? Because Sagittarius is here, and then this is the next sign after Sagittarius.
Capricorn.
Yep, that's right. It's the Capricorn curly goat horn.
Okay.
So I'm going to choose some keywords for Capricorn.
Okay.
So my ideal self. I like seeing the essence of the form.
Mm-hmm. So my ideal self sees the essence of the form in the fifth house. What part of the fifth house do you want to apply that to?
My self-love.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know how we're going to say it though. Going by what I'm drawn to. I'm not necessarily
that's fine. That's the way to do it. So my ideal self sees the essence of the form in order to love myself.
To love myself. My ideal self sees the essence of the form in order to love myself. Okay.
Yeah. And that's going to work very well, actually. That's a good sentence.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just do one more.
Sure.
So what's the next sign? What's the next planet?
The next planet is Mars.
Mars. So Mars is in the first house.
Yep.
I know Mars so well now.
Yeah, that's good.
First house.
And it is in, so Virgo.
Yep, that's right. So
Getting it. There you go, Virgo.
I'm going to choose a keyword for Mars.
Okay. Find Mars here. One sec. Oh, here we go. Huh. How I pursue my lovers.
Okay.
And then do I go to Virgo?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if this is going to work out, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. See, some planets fit better in others, in some signs than others. Some there's more of a more ingenuity required to get them to express together well, and sometimes Mars and Virgo is a bit that way.
I feel like, yeah, I'm going to say analytically, just because I overthink everything.
Right. Yes.
So I'm just going to be honest about that.
That's great. And I think that is true.
I think it probably is. I was just like, this is being recorded, but I'm going to say it. How I pursue my lovers. I pursue my lovers analytically. The first house is myself, my sense of identity, my appearance, how I begin. Is that the only choices? I don't know. How I pursue my lover analytically.
Well, yeah, and you know, and putting yourself on the line, because the first house, any planets in the first house, and even when we have transits through the first house, we're really putting ourselves out there. So I pursue my lovers analytically, putting myself on the line. I think that would be the way to express that.
Well, that's the way it feels, right? Because I'm so
Yes.
protective. So let's just do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And trying to make new beginnings. You're really working to make sure it's a good beginning. That's another thing you'll focus on with that. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's so interesting here is that this is how you may pursue your lovers. And they may not necessarily immediately see this amazing moon stuff here, or even this amazing Venus stuff here. When you're in the Mars going all analytical about it all. And there needs to possibly be a way to let them see these other goodies. When they see those goodies, it's like, wow.
That's when I'm more relaxed. You see those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, I'm aware that I am more analytical up front until I relax, right?
Yes. Yeah, true.
That's what I know about myself.
Yeah. And the moon is our most natural self. The moon is who we become when we just are completely ourselves. And this is why another thing that's a nice aspect between people is when their moons are in the same place. Those are the people that can become immediately domestic together.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. You have the same kinds of habits, the same kind of emotional reactions, and you just feel calm around each other. Unless, of course, you're both, one or both of you has really crazy moons. But I even had a relationship with somebody whose moon was conjunct mine, and they had a really stressful aspect to their moon, but it was still a calming relationship for both of us.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was great.
Yeah.